to me, what the biggest problem in the world is, especially in the new generation, with the people we call the millennials, is that victim consciousness. My mom struggles with victim consciousness too, so it's not limited to the millennials, but it's something that has been passed on to the millennials, and it's hitting them, in my opinion, harder than it hit any other generation. We've had things in the past called depression hit humanity, but those were old school, hard working motherfuckers who were not gonna let a depression stop them and kill them and break them down. So they overcame the shit. However, since then, pharmaceutical industry, the medical industry, and the church, and the fucking politics have all become stronger, more powerful, and more in control of the minds of the masses. So if these kids ain't on some kind of a pharmaceutical for being ADD or ADHD or some shit like that, then they in the rave game popping Molly and doing whatever the fuck is available there, or they're just outright depressed and probably wind up killing themselves. Like it's fucked up how much is attacking the millennials, and they don't even really realize it. Our generation barely beat that shit. Like, they started trying to hit us with the drugs. They told my mom, put me on dope. Give him these pills, this'll even him out. Or give him these pills, this'll calm him down. He's too hyper. My mom was like, well, the nigga hyper. What the fuck? Some people have big energy and some people don't.
Yeah.
I'm not putting him on pills. I don't want to see that motherfucker sitting around like, because that's pretty much what it was going to do. It was going to fuck me up, you know, and change who I am. So my mama did not put me on the pills. They put me in special ed for like 1 semester even, because they were trying to convince my mom that there was something wrong with me, that I had a learning disability. And the only thing that was wrong with me is I was pissed off, angry about what was going on at home, or about what wasn't going on at home. And I didn't really have nobody to talk to about it, because the family teaches you not to talk shit about what's going on in the family. Don't air your dirty laundry, they say. So you'll get in trouble if you go and tell people how you really feel, in other words. So there was no outlet. I was a little boy scared to tell people that I was fucking depressed because my daddy is gone and my mom's a fucking crackhead and she's fucking crackheads and bringing crackheads into my house and shit like that. Like I couldn't tell nobody. Couldn't tell grandma. That would get my mom in trouble. You see what I'm saying? So I had no outlet. So I was angry. So I got in trouble. Because I was bored and angry. And that's the only thing in learning disability. If anything, I was 12 times smarter than any of the fucking kids in my class. And my mom knew that, at least. And I'm glad that even though she was cracked out, she didn't put me on drugs. So I beat that shit just by the nick of my chin. I beat being dependent of pharmaceuticals to try to control my state of mind or whatnot. Now, victim consciousness is something that comes when people become aware of the fact that there are powers that be that can hurt us and that are hurting us. You become aware, wow, okay, that hurts me and there's nothing I can do about it. That's not true. There's always something that you can do about it. This is how you overcome victim consciousness, by realizing that no matter what your situation is, if you have control of your mind, then you have control of your future, and you have control over what you're gonna do, where and how you're gonna do it. I say this because I study the greats. I study People like Nelson Mandela, who was locked up in jail for 10 years. They took his body and they locked his body up, but clearly they did not defeat this man's mind when they did that. That's power. All the power is in the mind. He still accomplished his missions. He still spread the word. He still spread the message that needed to be spread. He could have succumbed to victim consciousness very easily and given up. Oh, well, shit. They're gonna lock me up for 10 years, take my freedom away. I better stop doing what I'm doing right now. I better stop believing what's right. I better stop teaching what's right because I get punished for it. And I can't handle the punishment. I'm weak and I don't want to deal with this punishment. I don't want to go back to jail. So fuck the freedom of other black people and other Africans. I'm done with this shit. When they let me out of here, I'm gonna go fucking be a good little boy and live the rest of my life. No, that wasn't what Nelson Mandela did. Nelson Mandela came back harder when they let him out of jail. Fought harder. When you're not afraid to die for what you stand for, when you're not afraid to fucking die for what you know is right in your heart, those are the people that I look up to. Fearlessness is what I look up to. Because when you're fearless, then that means you're not a victim. I'm never going to be a victim. I have dealt with victim consciousness, but I overcome it. Anytime I'm trying to complain and whine and act like I don't have control over what I want to be doing with my life, whenever I think that I don't have control and I can't beat these motherfuckers at their game of controlling the minds of people, that's victim consciousness. I've felt like giving up. You know what I mean? Felt like killing myself. But that's victim consciousness. That's me deciding I'm a victim. They're stronger than me. There's too many of them. They have too much money. They're too powerful. And give up. And play ball. Okay, I'm just going to get a $13 an hour job and just work the $13 an hour job. I'll work the $13 an hour job for a very short period of time. And then I realize I have succumbed to victim consciousness. And I say, fuck this, dude. I could go out there on the street corner and make jewelry with the knowledge and skills that I got and make more money. And I'm about to get brave enough to just do that. And I've done that. I've quit jobs because I can't handle being a slave. I'm not a slave. Slaves succumb to victim consciousness. Those are victims. I ain't no victim. I'm a warrior. I'm gonna win. And what I mean by winning is when I can teach one person or when I can inspire one person to overcome their own victim consciousness. That's me winning. That's me doing what I feel like I'm put on this earth to do, to help others